Welcome to ChessVerse. My name is Anna-Maja. I'm a woman international master and FIDE master, and today we're going to solve some puzzles on chess.com. Let's have a look. So this is an endgame. Black played g4, so white is to move. Let's see what we've got here. So this pawn is promoting to queen for sure. The king cannot stop it, so we have to look for options to promoting to queen ourselves. Let's see, the first move that comes in mind is of course a7, because we cannot lose a move just like that. So let's see, a7. Black has to play king b7. There's no other defense against promoting to queen. After king b7, c6 comes up in mind first, which is check. The king has to move somewhere. It will probably take the pawn. Then we play c takes d7, and the king is not able to catch this pawn before promoting to queen. I don't think there's anything else to this puzzle, so let's have a look. a7, knight b6, that's very interesting. I did not consider that, considering we can just take it, but that's probably not what white wants, since after c takes b6, black plays king b7, and the black king has everything basically under control. So let's see. Okay, what about king a5? We are attacking the knight again, but this does not help us at all, since black can just push either of the pawns and the black king will still stand on b7 and protect everything. So let's give this some thought. There should be some sacrifice of the pawn where we will get a king nicely placed on either c6, c7 to promote to queen with check or even checkmate. So let's see, how are we going to do that? Okay, let's consider c takes b6 first. What's going to happen after that? King b7. I believe we should play king c5. Let's try that first. Then, for example, we play g3. Doesn't really matter, but for right now we just play g3. So I'm thinking of promoting the queen, sacrificing the pawn to be able to push our king even further. So then king takes e8, we play king c6, and what's going on here? Black goes king b8 and everything is under control for black, because I cannot push the pawn and the king is not forced to move at all. So let's start from the beginning. We play c takes b6, king b7, king c5, g3. Maybe we could play king d6 here, because we really want to go to the c7 square in order to push b7, b8, queen, checkmate. So, what do we do about that? Let's see, king d6. Black will probably play g2. I don't see anything better than that. And then we push the pawn to queen. King takes a8, king c7. Black promotes to queen as well. And then we have this beautiful b7. Check, king a7, b8, queen, checkmate. That's really beautiful, right? So, let's have a look. So, takes. We go king c5, e3, that's okay, that doesn't matter. It's still the same, king d6. We promote to queen, we play king c7, e1 queen b7, and b8 queen, checkmate. It was a really nice one. Let's continue to the next one. Another endgame, this time with queens on the board from the beginning. So black played queen c6. What is going on here? The material is equal, but the king looks a little bit unsafe there, because the queen here on e5 looks really dangerous for black, and once we get our king here, there might be some deadly threats going on here, so this pawn is also very weak. So let's see what could be the solution. If we go king g5, that's the first thing that comes up in mind, considering that there is no check. Well, black can not do any proper check, and well, they can take on f3. Maybe we should be careful for that, but maybe not, since we can give check as well. This is interesting. Let's give it some thought. So what are we supposed to do here? I still think we have to push the king over here. Otherwise, I don't see anything that would give us as wide an advantage. You know, if we push, for example, f4, then there is even checkmate. So that is not really an option. If we play h5, black will take, and we don't really want to trade pawns since there's so less material on the board. So let's see. The only check we have with white is queen f4. I don't think it's a useful one, but maybe it is actually useful because we're protecting f3 pawn, and then we can push king g5. Maybe that is actually the solution, that we are giving the check first on f4, then we push the king to g5, and then think of moves like queen f6 or even taking this pawn. I think that that is the solution. Let's have a look. See, that is the move. Black played king g7, and we can now safely play king g5 because there is no threats of black. There are no checks at all. So I think king g5 is the best move here. Black plays e5. That's a good choice because we were threatening queen f6. Now we can just take this pawn, and that's the solution of this puzzle. Let's continue. So what's going on here? Let's look at the material. We are one pawn up with white. I don't like our king over here because once the queen moves, the first rank is a little bit unprotected, so we have to check for back rank mates or threats. But the king over here of black is also quite unsafe. So we probably should make use of that. Let's give it some thought. We cannot give any checks which we actually want to. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense to move the queen, because if, for example, queen e5, to give black some threats on the 7th rank by playing queen c7, and there are deadly checkmates going on there. So if you play queen e5, first rank is exposed, and it might turn out really bad because queen c1, for example, if queen goes back to e1, f4 is hanging. If bishop e1, then bishop f2, and maybe not bishop f2 because, let's try it again. So queen e5 like that, queen c1, bishop e1. There's probably just nothing going on because bishop f2 is queen, there comes queen e7, and there's a mate going on there, so we should be careful with bishop f2. But other than that, black can just do anything. For example, I would say queen e3 to protect everything and be able to go back to e7 with the queen. So let's remove all these arrows. So what can we do here with white? We have to do something really direct, probably in order to give some checkmate. First thing that I'm thinking of right now is bishop g8. Might look very weird, but what my plan is to push this king to the 8th rank and then give black check here. But if black plays king g7, we don't really have any good checks anymore. I don't really see anything good going on there. So let's try again. What can we do here with white? Maybe we can first play bishop f6, keeping this threat in mind, because it is a threat right now. If black doesn't do anything after bishop f6, we play bishop e8, g8, king takes g8, queen e8, but there is bishop f8, which ruins the idea. That's a bit sad, because instead of bishop f8, if black plays king h7 back, then we have checkmate. So maybe we have to keep this idea in mind and continue to look for better opportunities. Let's see. This one is quite interesting. It is quite possible that we still can play queen e5. So let's analyze that again. If queen e5, queen c1, bishop e1, and I was thinking queen e3. Is there anything that we can do against that? I don't see really anything. What about queen e8? Let's move the queen all the way to threat at least some checkmate over there. So queen e8. If check, that's the thing I'm most scared of. We play bishop e1. And then what can black do to prevent checkmate? I don't see any move really. The only thing that comes up in mind is h5 to get a square over here. But then we still play queen g8, king h6, and queen h8 checkmate. Is there anything else that black can do after queen e8? I don't really think so. Because I always play, after a check, I play bishop e1 and queen g8. We can't really protect that from happening as black. So I think queen e8 is the solution. Let's see. So queen b1 check, we play bishop e1, takes, then we take back, and we won. This is the solution. Let's go to the next one. Okay, another endgame. So let's see. Let's count the material. White has 6 pawns, black has 6 pawns as well. So the material is equal, but this pawn is under attack. It is very likely that we are going to lose that. But on the other hand, there is a pawn over here that wants to promote. It's really close to the 1st rank, but it cannot move yet. It's really interesting to keep in mind. So what can we do here? What is the idea of this position? We might have to break through with either of the pawns to get possibilities of promoting to queen with other pawns. But that seems really vague right now. First thing that I'm thinking of is e5. Because if either of the pawn takes, f takes e5, then we push the f pawn. If d takes e5, then we push the d pawn. I think the most interesting to look at right now is e5, d takes e5, because after d takes e5, d6, black can still play bishop a4 to prevent white from playing d7. So let's see, e5, d takes e5, d6, bishop a4. What do we do then? First of all, this pawn is unprotected, so we could take it, but is there anything better than that? I think that this could be the solution, since the pawns are really weak over here. White can play knight e4 in this variation, knight f6, take on f6, have another pawn that wants to promote, push d7 after that, and black should take then, knight takes, and then we can push the pawn. So that is a really abstract idea. I think we should go for this. So let's have a look. e5. Yes, d takes e5. I think d6 is the only possibility right now, or only best move, because otherwise black will just go king c5, and yeah, I think we should go for d6, bishop a4. So here I think it's the best to, let's calculate it a bit, because I don't feel like wasting a move by taking this pawn, but I also don't feel like the king coming over here and then push the pawn, you know? So we have to calculate here a little to see if it really matters, if we really need to take this pawn, or if we can push this knight over here and take the other pawns. So let's see. If we take on d3, what is going to happen? I'm thinking of king c5, knight e4, check, king c6 probably, and the thing here is that we can't really take on f6 because black can take this pawn, and I don't think we should give that pawn up so easily. So what if we play knight e4 first? So black cannot play king c5 immediately. If they play king b5 to get any closer to the pawn on d6, we push the pawn to d7, and it promotes the queen very easily. So this could be the solution. Also, after king c4, we play knight takes f6, and we can push this pawn to d7 again. And so before this, so after knight e4, black cannot go king c3, but if they go king c4, after that knight takes f6, and then king c3, not like this, like this, so like this, then we can come back to protect this square and then push the f pawn. I think this is the solution. This is a really interesting one. So knight e4. Oh, and that's it actually. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!